you're able to use that segment you did this week?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. And I'll see if I can talk about it next year.
Sure, that'd be great. Anytime, that's how it is.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, we will take some questions for Freddie Freeman. Who's got the first question? We'll start with David. 4 rows back on your right.
Hi, David.
Hi, Freddie. Since it's been more than 24 hours now since you hit that walk-off home run in the 18th inning, are you able to take it in more, or are you just so deep into the series still with where you're at you can't really process it?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I haven't really thought about it at all today. Obviously, yesterday coming into the field, it's kind of fresh on everybody's mind, but yeah, I kind of almost forgot about it because of, being tied 2-2 in the World Series, and you got to get the win today. So maybe I'll think about it after the series, especially when we win.
Just as far as what's being said in the hitters meetings, I know you guys have had different type of approaches when things are not going your way as a group.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys had any of those type of discussions in the before any of these games, or do you plan one today?
Well, I mean, we obviously didn't have anything. Just kind of went over Bieber yesterday in the hitters meeting. We didn't have a talk or anything just because we won the day before. So, but yeah, I think it's like 3 runs in the last 20-something innings, I would say, somewhere around there, 20 innings. And obviously, as an offense, we know we got to score some runs. So it takes pressure off Blake if we can score some, and just we need to string some hits together. It's just get some hits, get guys on, work the counts, get guys on, move them first to third, get them in, kind of like what we did in the second inning yesterday. We just need to continue that over and over and over again. You got to put pressure on them. If we're going up there just trying to hit home runs, that's not the name of the game. So we'll see. We got a hitters meeting in about 30 minutes, so maybe when we come out for BP and defense, I'll let you know if there was one.
Up front on your left, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Freddie, Jim Hill, KKLI News. Good luck.
Thank you.
How do you feel knowing that for this team to be successful, you have to be successful?
Well, I take pride in that, to being in the middle of the lineup. That's what you want to be. So there's a few of us that need to be successful. It can't always just be Shohei. So we understand that. And we're just going to try to do our best to get. We've already faced Trey once, so hopefully we can have the same plan. I thought we did a pretty good job against them in Game 1, getting them out after 4 innings. Just get the ball up and stay off the bottom of the zone, and hopefully put good at-bats together and score some runs and let Blake settle in and have Blake be Blake Snell.
Go to the third row on your right, Alden.
Hey, Freddie, I know winning that game was the most important thing, but knowing this is the end for him, what was it like seeing Clayton have that moment to get out of that bases loaded jam? And did you see the video of Ellen reacting to that?
I did not. Pretty much stay off social media, so I don't really know what's going on. But to see Clayton come in that massive a situation, he's been doing it over and over since 2008. Whenever his name's called, 3 days rest in postseasons, just doing whatever he's needed. And for him to come in that situation, get out of it, I was more happy about the fact that his first slider was 89 miles an hour. That's going to be the hardest pitch he threw all year. And so it kept, because I have pitch comment, I think he went slider, slider, slider. I was like, come on, throw a fastball. I want to see how hard this fastball comes in, because he was, obviously feeling great and excited. But massive moment getting us out, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's another moment that Clayton comes in and gets us out of another one.
Third row on your right, Freddie.
Hey, Freddie, Chris Sandoval with ABC. You've obviously been in this World Series position. You're all about routine at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Do you add anything? Do you subtract anything from video, nutrition, anything?
No, it's about the same. My routine's being cut into right now because I'm up here. But no, it's about the same. I didn't. I go back and forth of hitting BP on the field or outside. Or inside, so I know Bill knows, if I'm hitting outside, it's because I'm trying to find something, but I feel pretty good right now about my swing, so I'm still contemplating if I'm going to hit outside today, but most of the time, I hit 3 times a day. I do my knee drills, my hand drills, and I take ground balls, and that's about it. Stick to the same routine. It usually seems to work, so I'm going to keep going.
Go to the fourth row on your left, Bill.
Yeah, Freddie, you talk about guys trying to hit home runs, not building innings. Why do you think the offense has slipped into that mode?
I think it's just human nature. It's the World Series. You want to do. Sometimes you want to do a lot, and that's just kind of how it is. And I think we've got a few games in, and you recognize what's going on, and then you can reel it back in. And we're all human. We all want to hit home runs, and the biggest of stages is just kind of what happens. And like I said, we're 4 games in. We've seen the pattern, and now it's on us to stop that pattern and get back to being who we are.
Second row.
Kind of slipped into that before the World Series, though. This is
I don't
remember
the regular season, so I remember yesterday, and we scored 2 runs. We got to score more than 2 runs today.
Go to the second row on your right, Barry.
Hey, Freddie.
Yep.
What's your feeling these days about the intentional walk? Is it outmoded, especially like the other night? That game was extended 18 innings because Ohtani was walked 4 times, and now with the new rule, as opposed to when Barry played, you don't even have to throw the 4 balls. So it's like an automatic down. It takes 12 pitches away from relievers. Do you think at this point that make pitchers pitch around guys if that's what you want to do, but no intentional walks?
I think the last few years it's been about speeding up the game, and I think that intentional walk just stops from 4 pitches and keeps the game going. But it's all strategy, routine. I mean, I don't want Shohei to, if I was a manager, to beat me. So you got to let the other guys beat him. So we'll see how they attack him today. And, it's obviously on us to make sure Shohei touches home plate if he's on base.
Yeah, the other thing about it is that this baseball is the only sport where you could take the bat out of the best player's hand.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that in any other sport.
Yeah.
Go to the fifth row on your left. Jack?
Yeah. I feel like that's an opinion.
But people are paying a lot of money to see those guys hit.
Yeah, but they're trying to win a game. That's the main. That's what baseball is. One team's got to win, and they're trying to do the best they can to win a game. And if that's to take Shohei's out of the lineup and not pitch to him, then that's what they got to do. But that means Shohei's on base, so that's also good for the Dodgers.
Go to Jack on your left, Freddie.
And not to get too in the weeds on the offensive stuff,
Yeah.
but when you talk about the approach, is it more you guys not sticking to the right approach or the kind of pitches you're swinging at? Is it just the kind of swings you're taking?
I also think baseball's hard. They're really good. It's the World Series. They wouldn't be here if they didn't have good pitching. It's a lot of combinations of things. We can always talk about the offense isn't doing good, but you got to realize that's Major League pitching on the other side, and they're really good, and they're in the World Series as well. So it's 2-2. It's a best of 3 now. We understand that we need to score runs, and it's actually sometimes like today we have to get the ball up. If we are on the bottom of the zone and chasing down there, that's not going to be good for us. So there is one plan today, and it's to get up. So maybe that will help us and lock in on that one approach.
And not to take you back to the regular season, but are there things when you guys were going through some of the second half struggles and then got out of them that you can take from those moments and apply them to right now?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that during the regular season is just like ebbs and flows of a season. We're all not swinging the bat good sometimes, and then all of a sudden a week later we are swinging the bat good. And obviously things are magnified in these situations, and we understand that. So I do think we just need to check down and have like almost an 0-1 mindset and just build innings, extend them, work counts, be who we are. We are always a team that gets starters 70 to 90 pitches by the 4th, and we're going to do that again. and just build innings, keep putting pressure on them, and not have quick 1, 2, 3 innings.
A couple last ones. Ron, third row on your left.
Have you been surprised by the revival of splitters the last few years, and how hard is it for you to pick it up and deal with that?
Yeah, splitters, they are definitely coming back. It's definitely a tough pitch when you don't see them very often, and now they're coming back. And, obviously in this World Series, there's a lot of them, a lot of guys that throw them. It's a very tough pitch depending on, Yamamoto throws it at 92, 93. Then you have Trey today throwing them at 81, 82. So Gausman, they're all different too. And especially the guy, Trey, such a high release point that it can do so many different things. He's cut him before, he's faded them, they go straight down. So it's definitely a tough pitch because, we don't grow up facing that kind of stuff. So you just got to get acclimated to it quicker. But it's definitely coming back, and it's a tough pitch to hit. But like I said, the approach, we got to get that ball up.
Also, I assume Charlie made it up till the 18th.
Oh, he did. All of them did, by the way.
Did Brandon and Max watch it, or did you have to?
Charlie said he missed it. I don't know what he was doing in the family room, but he said he missed it. He said he heard a cheer and looked at the TV, and I was running around the bases. So I guess he asked my wife to watch the replay.
The two last ones, the fourth row on your right.
Freddie, over the course of the year, this team was tested so many times. What do you think this team is made of? What is this team's kind of identity?
Yeah, I mean, we faced so many bumps in the road. I think in spring training, everyone was saying this is how the season's going to go, and obviously it didn't go that way. At one point, we had our whole starting rotation was injured. We've gone through rough spells of the offense, the bullpen, everything. We've all been through tough times, and I think that's when you go through and win 18 innings and come back and didn't play the way we wanted to yesterday, and we know we got to bounce back. We understand that, but we've faced so much adversity throughout the course of this year that we're ready for it. We're counting on Blake, and then hopefully as an offense we can bounce back and put up better at bats and get going because that's who we are.
We'll finish up with Fabian on your left.
Yeah, Freddie. Obviously today's most important, but Yamamoto is starting Game 6. What is it something about his personality or anything about the person that sort of has gravitated, that you guys have kind of gravitated towards him as a person the last couple of years?
Yeah. I mean, Yoshi's incredible. It's just to come over from to a new country and new routines, new everything, and to settle in and have that contract given to you and then just to live up to it so fast and just be counted on by us every 5 days. It takes a special person to do something like that. You saw him warming up to come into the 19th inning the other day after 1 day's rest. I think that's just all you need to know about Yoshinobu. He will do anything to win a baseball game. And I heard he was throwing 10, 15 miles an hour in the bullpen, and they said, hey, can you go? And he said, yeah, I can go. And he was like, well, you need to pick it up because you're going to come into the 9th inning. And they said his next pitch was 97 dotted down and away in the bullpen. And I was like, yeah, it's incredible. That's all. I hope it epitomizes Yoshi is what he was going to do for us 2 days ago.
All right, Freddie, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Dave Roberts will be down at 1:45.
Let me know when you Yeah, so the second game, I'm trying to remember which was not so I think they probably be my guess is 3-5. Yeah, my guess is you young load a tear. Anything I hear on
Getting off of Imperial Highway, cutting over and taking
didn't say I did. It was no good. Yeah, you took 15. Hold back though. Never said I could. I never said I would. He's putting words in my mouth. I don't think anything. Really funny yesterday. Oh, I loved it on TV. That's not sure. Did you hear? Yeah, just tell me. That's all good. Just go away. You got to say one of the things. Right.
wanted to say something. I've seen you work this a little bit, and it certainly appears to me that you made all of your typing classes.
Oh.
She knows where the home row is. Huh? She knows where the home row is. No, good job. Good work.
Thank you.
just stuff for free. And they hired me because I graduated from San Jose State with a degree in broadcast journalism. So they hired me, so I was kind of like a news producer for a couple of months. Jerry Duncan was the anchor. I don't have my camera with me, but I can't think of the guy's name right now who was a referee for the last Super Bowl. In a roll. I can't think of the umpire in the college house. But I just tell people all that means is I got home to the right. Anyway, this World Series ring is exactly the same size as the 8,000 that had in his Dodgers in 1988. And there's only two differences. And I talked to World Merchandiser because he hasn't worked his life. So there's two differences between yours and mine. Number one, yours has a blue background, and number two, your diamond is worth about 25 pounds. Anyway, that's the biggest team-friendly club option. What I've been doing so last actually 3 years. I have two daughters. They're both married. But what we do once a year, we go to some stadium anywhere the Angels are playing. Because I live like 3 years ago, we went to Fenway Park. Last year, we went to Wrigley Field and then Oh God. I mean, he absolutely grew that. It's a good. First day here, Joe. If the situation presents itself, depending on how things go, but he couldn't get like to get. Who's going to be interviewed next?
Oh, sorry.
All right, we're going to get started with Doc. Who has the first question? We'll start with Kirsten. 4 rows back on your left, Doc.
Dave, last night you had hinted at you were looking into some changes potentially with the lineup, just with how you either adjusted the top of the order, moving Will Smith up, or even having Alex Call in there. What do you just kind of like about these guys and how the hope is to get something going offensively early in this one tonight?
I think that was kind of the thought. Obviously, getting Alex in there, I felt that at the bottom, just the at-bat quality, seeing pitches, the potential to get somebody on base for Shohei at the top. I feel good with Kike in center field and Alex's defense in left. And then as far as Mookie and Will, I just feel like I feel that that's the best way to win the game tonight. And so both players were alerted and both players are all on board. So that was a decision I made.
We'll go to Jack on your left.
How much with the Will Mookie switch is trying to provide some more protection behind Shohei too and force them to maybe pitch to him a little bit more?
Yeah, I think just like I said, Jack, it's just whatever I felt is the best chance to win today.
And then with Mookie, what have you been seeing from him the last couple of weeks? Has it looked more like with just some of the contact and the pop-ups, kind of like some of the stuff he was struggling with earlier this year? Have you been okay with his approach? Kind of what have you guys seen out of him?
I think there's a little bit of, there's some mechanics. There's they're making good pitches. He's working hard to kind of clean some things up. Yesterday he lined the ball, but Clement was there on the line, got a base hit. And so for me, there's some mechanical things, but, right now all that matters is just going out there and, taking 4 or 5 good at-bats. And so all I'm concerned about is tonight, and I know that's all what's on Mookie's mind too.
Move up a few rows for Sonia.
Dave, during the regular season, you were kind of reluctant to move Mookie down in the order, and this is obviously a different situation, but kind of why now?
Well, I think that, when I think in the postseason, you got to be a little bit more reactive than the regular season. And when I netted out, the value of what I feel gives us the best chance to win today, that was a decision I made. And I think that's why, like I said, at some point, you got to be a little bit more proactive than I normally would.
And you also had mentioned the possibility of Miggy getting a start. Is the reasoning there just Tommy's ankle not being quite ready?
Tommy's ankle not being all the way there, which he could do it, which he did in whichever game it was, game 3. But also, I just feel like Alex, versus Yasevich, I think he's going to take some really good at-bats.
We'll stay there with Fabian.
Yeah, Dave, you said that you liked overall the approach against Yasevich last time around. Like, what does need to change maybe in those at-bat qualities when you sort of have those runners on base like you did against him in game 1 and even yesterday?
Well, I think at-bat quality is not just pitches. It's hitting mistakes. And so I do think that the first time through, the at-bat quality was good as far as kind of gathering information. But I think in total, 2 times through the order, there were a lot of pitches that we missed. And so that kind of takes away from bat quality, and that's the second time through. So we've seen them. We're prepared. And then so now it's kind of 9 guys coming together, being ready to hunt mistakes. And when you get a mistake, then be ready to do something with it, and continue to fight. But it's not just Shohei, it's not Freddie, it's all, collective. 9 guys got to do their jobs.
With that, do you feel like some guys maybe are trying too much to try to join Shohei and Freddie and being contributors in the lineup and maybe pressing a little bit?
I hope not, but if you see some of the chase that we've had, which is uncharacteristic, that speaks to that. But I hope that's not the case because, we have a talented group of hitters and we got to kind of hunt our pitches, our lanes, and avoid that uncharacteristic chase down below.
The second row on your left, Jim.
Skipper Jim Hill, KKL 9 News. Because you've been here and done that, does that make you even more relaxed?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I'm relaxed, but I'm focused, anxious to get going. But I think that's a part of it, with the experience that we've had and I've had, yeah.
We'll move up to Ron right in front.
Have some of the things that you guys have done, like giving Clayton and Freddie lockers for their kids and stalls in the locker room, create the type of family atmosphere that's helped encourage free agents and other players to come here?
Yeah, I think Andrew said it best, trying to make Los Angeles, the Dodgers, a destination place. And, where players want to come and play. And, you got to convince the wives and feel comfortable with the kids around at times. And I think we do as good a job as anybody just trying to make people feel welcome and be themselves. So, yeah, that's definitely part of the calculus.
Barry in the second row on your right.
Hey, Doc. Do you think that the intentional walk is outlived its usefulness? Should like the other night, pitcher, if you want to walk around somebody like they did with Ohtani in the last at-bat, feel free? But, I mean, there's free pass down to first base 12 pitches were eliminated because of that, and I think the game wouldn't have gone 18 innings if it wasn't for those walks. I mean, you went through it with Barry and watched it when you played. Now you're managing Ohtani. You're taking the bat out of the hands of one of the greatest players in the game.
Yeah, I understand that, and obviously for me on the bias side, I would probably say I wish we could outlaw that because it would benefit the Dodgers. But I think in totality, it's still a strategy, and it's not applicable to every team that's not the Dodgers, right? So I think that it's just hard to make a rule and be so affected by the World Series and not pitching to Shohei. So yeah, I'm trying to be non-biased, but I do think there's some strategy to it, though.
Obviously, Barry walked 900 times intentionally. So, I mean, I think people are paying to see these guys hit, not walk. That's kind of my stance on it.
That's fair. It's a fair take.
We'll go one row behind Barry.
Nice, Barry.
Hey, Doc, regarding being proactive, at this point, do you add anything to what you've done, and is there such a thing as overthinking it?
There is such a thing as overthinking it. I'm more of the mind to bet on my guys and bet on them to play good baseball and win 2 more games. So that's where I'm at. But with that, yeah, you got to make decisions, with enough information, and I feel that I've done that today.
We'll stay in the same row, Doc.
Hey, Doc. Max reminded us of the mantra last night that every game is a one-game series and all you had to do is win this one game. But that being said, and this being your final home game of this series, how much bigger is this one game?
It's huge. It's a 3-game series, as someone said. It's a 3-game series, and to win that first one is big. And obviously it's at home. They're all big games. And so, coming off losing last night, I'm going to leave it out there. Our players are going to leave it all out there to win tonight. And then whatever happens, we're going to pick up the pieces and get on a plane to Toronto. So they're all big to me.
On the back right corner, Andy.
Hey, Dave. Where does Shohei fit into your pitching plans for the rest of this series?
I haven't talked to Shohei yet, but obviously he won't be available tonight. We'll see where he comes in, beyond that, but I haven't had that conversation. But certainly when you're talking about Game 6, potential Game 7 of the World Series, all hands on deck. So we'll see where that goes.
I would assume you would want to incorporate him into that if he can go.
If he can go, if it makes sense, certainly he would be an option.
Up front of your left, Doc.
Dave, after Game 1, Blake Snell said he didn't have his fastball command. His changeup wasn't as effective as he'd like it to be. Do you think that's a byproduct of the longer layoff between the CS and that Game 1 start? And now that he's back on normal rest, do you think it'll be more effective tonight?
I think that it's easy to expect him to be markedly better than he was in Game 1. And so I do think that he'll never make an excuse for that layoff, and that's just the circumstance we were in. But yeah, I expect him to be much better with the fastball and the changeup today.
We'll finish up in the first row on your right.
Hey there, Maury from the Roz and Mocha Show. I'm sure that you really wanted to win the World Series here in LA. Does it upset you that no matter what, the World Series will be won in Toronto, Canada?
Not at all. Not at all. I think ultimately it's to win the World Series, and regardless of where it happens.
All right, Doc, I know you got to go. Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys.
I was going to say the Andy. It's like respectable oaf in the kind of. So I got one too. It was an issue last season. Oh yeah. Other than so I'm sitting in front of you. I would say morally is a fair game afterwards because one, two, the consequences of the if you kept it for every person, I said and he said I mean, you just have to live in the shot. You know what I mean? And it's tough if there's no one else going for the ball.
I think down the stretch here, we're going to start doing Dean Smith.
You're not if I see his hand up, so I got to you're there, you know, game and second one. I got a big fight with him twice. So we were like so it's I think the best stuff. It's hard to do it. Just when it's getting settled down. He says I moved his stuff. And I was like, did you move his stuff? And Harry's like, I did. And John's like, well, I don't know like that.
What's the sense thing? Yeah.
So, because they did this for one the last night. Oh, smart. Hey, Ray. Have a good rest of your day. Russian in here, aren't you? It's so much easier now that I, you know, I do it and change whatever on the WordPress. Now I just want to draw it and write this all the way. It's a lot easier. I've seen two people. I've seen the three for okay, yeah. So it's kind of beyond that. The two guys I've seen two. They always do this. No one's ever started. I haven't touched tables since. Manager has hesitancy. His arm. Well, I've always said to I think visuals call one of them was actually I just noticed like sometimes kind of the Lakers coach refused. He actually wants to go to you know, if you're doing like job interviews, just children of the boys, just find it. Yeah.
All right, we'll get started with John, who has the first question. We'll try to get the microphone all the way to the back.
Passing the baton, thank you. Hi, Schneider. Just wondering, following or spinning off the comments from Ernie yesterday pertaining to the fact that the Jays would be the best team in baseball right now, I'm just wondering, do you keep tabs on those kind of comments at this point in the series and to make sure no one gets too ahead of themselves, or what do you do?
Adam fills me in on some of these comments, I think anything these guys are saying right now, they've earned, and I think that they truly believe it. It's kind of like when Ernie said, I love our chances in the ALCS when we were down 3-2. I think that's what they genuinely believe, and I love their confidence.
On the back right, Bill.
How's George Springer, and what has he done the last 2 days to get back on the field?
George is feeling better. He's hitting the cage today. You guys probably saw him running outside. He hit off the machine velocity, and we're kind of just seeing how he responds from that. So I think better than he expected to feel, better than we expected him to feel, which is saying a lot. And just trying to juggle right now how he's going to feel in about 30 minutes after doing that stuff, and what's best for him and what's best for the team. So I think if he's not starting, there's a definite chance, if he can pinch hit, I think he'll be ready to do that. So I'm juggling a lot right now to kind of see how everything unfolds and who else it affects. But Georgie's made some significant progress.
Could you talk about what he means to this team, and especially when you miss him in the lineup?
Yeah, he's had an unbelievable year, and I think that he has done a phenomenal job of kind of setting the tone for us, not just at the plate, but kind of in the clubhouse, and keeping tabs on guys. It's been fun to watch him. It's been really fun after a tough year last year for him and us. The production is the production, but I think kind of how he goes about his day-to-day with everyone in there is just as important.
A few rows up, Ben.
Hey, John, just hiding back here. Just wondering with Vladdy, how do you view the idea of protection with him? Like, is it guys ahead of him in the order getting on base so that they can't intentionally walk him, or is it guys behind him to create that threat of damage?
I think it's both. You try to build a lineup to where guys will be on base for certain guys, and then what is their offensive profile like? Is it contact? Is it damage? I think Vlad is going to be pitched how Vlad is going to be pitched, no matter who's in front or behind him. And guys have done a good job of getting on for him. So that's kind of how we view it. I think guys, if it's Nate hitting in front of him, or if it's Bo hitting, whoever's hitting in front of him, I think they understand that they're probably going to get something to hit, you know what I mean? Because he's standing on deck, and then it is kind of important who's behind him too, you know what I mean? So we've seen the bat be taken out of his hands. So you got to have guys that can do some stuff behind him.
A bit further to your right, Shai.
Hey, John.
Hey.
A couple things. First, with Vladdy, the ability that he's shown throughout the postseason to not chase damage, not try to force a moment, but just be patient. How have you seen that evolve for him? The ability to just kind of hunt the pitch and get it and not try to expand to try and create something.
I think that he's always kind of been that kind of hitter, and this postseason has been pretty remarkable in terms of power and strikeouts, lack of strikeouts and not a lack of power, So I think it's a good hitter being in a good rhythm, There's always a fine line with. I feel like a lot of people think of Vlad and they think of home runs. I think of Vlad and I think of a hitter that hits the ball so hard he's going to hit it out of the ballpark. So when he's at his best, that's what he's doing.
And last time Tommy Edman hit right-handed against Trey as opposed to left-handed. Just what do you read into that, and how does that maybe change game planning for him? Because you're obviously assuming he's going to be left-handed, but then he's turning around.
Yeah, we weren't sure. I know he's done that before in his career against some righties with kind of similar pitch profile and pitch mix. So we weren't sure what he was going to do. We kind of had a plan A and a plan B. it doesn't change much, but I think it kind of changes where we're positioning everyone. You know what I mean? Because there's not that much, batted ball data that says, Tommy Edman versus righties. So you're trying to maneuver that as best you can too.
Up front of your left, John.
John, good to see you again.
Likewise.
Maury, the Roz and Mocha Show. We've talked so many times about how incredible Blue Jays fans are, but I didn't know if you knew this, and I want to get your take on this. It is so awesome that back in Toronto, upwards of 30,000 fans are going to Rogers Centre to watch the games on the big screen, and there's the roar of the crowd every time you guys do something awesome. What is your take on how cool that is?
It's pretty remarkable. I've seen the videos, and it's nice that we have a dome, and it's not raining or cold, but to see that, we feel that. You know what I mean? We feel that out here in LA. We understand what it means to the city and the country, and I think it's just remarkable. There's watch parties, and then there's watch parties. That was awesome. We're thrilled that we're going back there to play. We still got to focus on tonight's game, but the fans kind of become a part of you. And you want to kind of do that for them too.
We'll stay here with Daniel.
Thank you. Hi, John.
Hey.
Talking with Bo Bichette last night, he said that he sees Andres Jimenez as a big game player.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? That's part one. And number two, how proud are you of Andres knowing everything he's been grinding this year with injuries and that he's faced?
Oh, man, I couldn't agree more. Himmy, I say it about Himmy. To me, this is like the biggest compliment you can give a guy is he's a baseball player. He understands situations of the game. He understands how he can impact it. He's usually always in the right spot, defensively, kind of being the quarterback of the team out there. I've been really, really impressed with him and basically everyone, how invested and locked in they are to every at-bat and what that at-bat means. What do I need to do right now? So for Himmy, man, like when we acquired him, I was thrilled. I've admired him from afar when he was with New York and Cleveland, and I can see why, you know what I mean? And then just getting to know him, not just as a player, but to know him as a husband and a father and a friend and a teammate to these guys. He's so well respected, and he has battled. Multiple injuries, and I think it's really cool that he's coming through in big moments right now because he's such a big part of our team.
The at-bat, like the one he had yesterday with the RBI, would you say that maybe that has been overlooked or overrated?
Yeah,
overrated,
not for me. I think people go to Vlad's homer as last night's game, right? But that's a part of the game. It's a big swing. And then those games are usually won kind of in the trenches right there when you get a tough reliever coming in and you got to kind of scratch and claw. So it was, to me, underrated at bat. Him and Ernie hitting the double off Ohtani to kind of get that inning going in the right direction.
Mike in the fifth row on your right, John.
Morning, John.
Hey, Mike.
Last night, one of our camera guys saw George moving around in the dugout, getting a helmet on. Was he going to run for Bo in the ninth inning if Bo had gotten on?
There was a scenario, he was going to run depending on kind of how many outs or I think Vlad led that inning off with a single. He was available to run, but just wanted to make sure it was the right time and did I want to take Bo out? How important was that run? But he was ready to go.
And just, I know that he's not going to start tonight, but I want to ask you about Nate. You're a career minor leaguer as a player. He was headed that way, right? For him to be 30 and in his first full season in the major leagues finally this year, to be leading off a World Series game last night, like, what does that say about the route he's taken and all the roadblocks along the way that he's been able to overcome?
It's kind of fitting for our team, It's I couldn't be happier for him, really. Just it's a guy that was contemplating retiring, a couple years ago and has battled injuries and would probably have played every day on our team last year if he was healthy. So for him to stick with it and for him to understand that he's a major league player and believe that until he got his chance is phenomenal. He's like so many of our guys where you just trust the human, and you trust it. I'm sure there's some anxiousness and anxiety and excitement that goes into all these games, but they do a really good job of hiding it, and just I couldn't be happier for him. I hated when he fouled the ball off his knee in the previous series because he's waited his whole life to get here. So it's going to be, it was going to be tough to take him out of that game, but I'm thrilled for him because he's paid his dues.
We'll stay in the same row with Gabe.
Hey, John. Way back when he started against the Yankees, everybody kind of freaked out, like, oh, this is only Trey's 4th Major League start period. Now it seems almost normal in a sense. Like, has he just folded into what you guys do, and is it just, hey, it's his turn, give him the ball and get out of the way?
Yeah, I think it probably took him a time through the rotation to kind of feel comfortable and to kind of get acclimated to the major leagues and conversations with veteran pitchers and veteran players. But I think we've done a really good job of creating that environment for people to come in, whether it's Trey or whether it's guys at the trade deadline or guys coming up from the minor leagues. So he's been awesome. He's really kind of fit in, and I think that very quickly earned the respect of everyone on the team.
Does it seem like he's a little less wide-eyed from that afternoon he went out to face the Yankees to now?
Yeah, I didn't think he was very wide-eyed then. I didn't think he was very wide-eyed in his major league debut, albeit at a minor league stadium. But I think that he's gotten better with kind of the flow of everything, the prep, the adjustments you have to make. He's been impressive with whether it's talking to you guys or out there on the mound competing. He's got a very good headspace.
5th row on your left, Rowan.
John, when you guys moved Bassitt to the pen, what was that conversation like with him, and how have you seen him embrace that role?
Yeah, the initial one kind of was, we leave him off the DS roster. That was kind of more physical, right? He was coming off an injury, and Chris is so great. The conversation was easy. It was, you're going to pitch out of the pen because we know you can be flexible. And he said, I don't care if you start me, I don't care if you close me, I don't care where you pitch me, I just want to pitch. So he's really gone up, in the circle of trust, if you will. His first outing was kind of a nondescript. We were down against Seattle, but I think he's earned the right to be in any spot. You know what I mean? It's not easy to do, but I think at this stage of the season, man, you just kind of trust people. Chris has been one of our best pitchers for 3 years, and we trust that the routine that is different won't affect him, and he's throwing the ball extremely well.
Dave in the 3rd row on your right.
John, Max said a few days ago that Chris was a big recruiter of him to come here. And just how much has Bassitt kind of been a part of the fabric of this team, and how has that helped him, do you think, translate into the role you asked him to do even this fall, just because he's so all in to
Yeah. It was such a unique offseason last year for us, kind of knowing where we were going to be. Certain people, certain players, certain everything, right? And I think conversations that we had with Chris, were very, very important. They were productive, and I think kind of getting everyone going in the same direction, that probably helped him explain to Max what was going on here. But yeah, Chris has been a voice on this team for the entire time he's been here, and continues to be one even though he's in the bullpen, But he is. Our team is they're very similar, where they're very selfless. They don't care about if it's one guy one night or another guy another night. But Chris really exemplifies that. He'll do anything for the guys.
Ron in the 2nd row.
Why do you think in the last year or so we've seen such a revival of use of splitters?
I think going back a few years, I think certain people thought they couldn't throw it. They couldn't actually get their fingers wide enough. And I think, like anything, pitch design, has changed. And I think guys have figured out different ways to grip it. Like Gauze is different than Trey's. Trey's is different than Sir Anthony's. Yariel's is different than, they all hold it a little bit differently. So I think pitchers have just gotten to the point to where they understand that pitch works against certain swing types that are pretty prevalent in the league, and they've figured out ways to kind of manipulate to get the same action.
Do 2 more on the 6th row on your right.
Hey, John, I know Max kind of puts his headphones on around this time. Shane's kind of chatty as usual. What is Trey like for these kind of 2 hours before a start?
He's pretty boring, he's usually playing cards with the guys. But I think once he kind of meets with Pete and the catchers, he's just very boring. He's very calm. You guys probably see him in between innings, kind of takes a deep breath, kind of trying to stay present with where he's at. He's pretty boring, I guess is the best way to say it. Kind of just goes about his routine. He'll talk to guys. He won't bite their head off if they're trying to ask him a question or something like that, but he's just pretty steady.
And have you thought about, like, given this ride for Trey, that his next regular season start could be like the 4th day of the season against, I don't know who you guys play, but what that is going to be like after all of this kind of build for him, and then he's just going to be starting regular season?
Yeah, it's going to be a big letdown, you know. He's going to, I've been saying that regular season is going to be boring for me now, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's wild, you know what I mean? Just to throw a guy in where we did and to have bigger and bigger games every time he pitches has been pretty wild. So we'll think about that next year, but, you know, want him to stay focused on what he's doing.
One row ahead, and we're going to do 2 last quick ones because I know we're at time, but go ahead.
Hi, John.
Hey.
Darby Schneider and Arnie Kremen said, like, Scherzer is helping them out, like, in the dugout, and also, like, his competitiveness and also, like, fighting spirit.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of impact on Scherzer presence have on the team?
It goes a long way because he's been here quite a bit in this stage, you know. Max talks to everyone, position players, pitchers, me, Pete, Donnie, DeMarlo. In his words, you know, Max always says, I've navigated these landmines a lot and I know what to expect. I've stepped on landmines and I've avoided them. So I think that whatever situation may pop up in these games, he's very, very open to talking about it with everyone. And it's just a calming presence to have for our younger players. I think him and George really come into play here where they've been in these moments. And no matter if you're down 2-0 or down 3-0, how things can change, you know, and just stay focused on what you're doing.
And we'll go far back with Bradford.
John, there's been a lot of attention paid to the ability of your hitters to avoid strikeouts. And, of course, this comes at a time in the industry where the last few years there's been a lot of talk about ways to get more balls in play in general. And from your perspective, how much intention was there to craft that style of offense for your team? And how much influence do you think that can have given the amount of success that you've had?
Yeah, we tried to thread the needle a little bit with that, going from last year to this year, like understanding that our main guys make a lot of contact. You know, Bo, Vlad, Kirky, George, you know, there's guys with different profiles. So we leaned into it a little bit, and I think at the same time you don't want to just, I always call it like just playing ping pong, you know what I mean? I think last year was pretty similar in terms of contact rate, maybe a little bit lower, but last year we talked about kind of doing a little bit more damage and what kind of quality of contact are we going to have. So threading the needle, I think, and Pop and Lou and Hunter have been instrumental in it. It's kind of like, we say it all the time, what club do you take out of your bag? You know what I mean? I think last year we had a lot of guys just hanging out with like a 7-iron the entire time. You know what I mean? So when to use that, when to use a driver, and knowing that they can make contact is kind of a little safety net for them. So in terms of how baseball goes forward, to me, pitching is so good these days with the stuff and the velo, everything. You have to be able to put the ball in play. You have to put pressure on the defense and the pitcher. So I like that we can do it in a variety of ways.
All right, John, thanks so much. Best of luck
guys.
tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Chris Bassitt will be down at 3:15, and Kevin Gausman will be down at 3:30.
I was like, I don't know if he's so I know. I'm surprised he lost the that piece was valuable. What the hell? You can tell where I was going.
All right, we're going to get started with Chris, and we'll start in the first row to your right, Chris.
Hey, Chris. It seems as though since the beginning of the playoffs, you're walking onto the mound, and could be a night in June against the Cubs or whatever. How much pride do you bring in bringing that calmness onto the field? And it seems like it transmits also to your teammates who maybe are in a situation where there's a little bit of nerves or jitter.
Yeah, I would say you live and learn, and I'd probably, I would have to say the 2022 year with the Mets taught me a lot. Didn't think I handled that moment that well. Regretted a lot of things that I did in that game, how I approached that game, so then it turns into just a learning experience. And then you add George Springer, who's been there, done that, Max Scherzer, who's been there, done that, Miles Straw, and just a lot of veteran guys. And just then you go into the confidence of our group, and it's just like, hey, just play our game, and that's it. So I'm not too concerned about trying to do too much and things like that. So I would say it's just that.
Far back in the right center aisle, Ben.
Hey, Chris. As the ask for you has changed to pitch out of the bullpen as opposed to being a starting pitcher, how has that impacted your preparation? You know, getting ready for 2 games in a row, potentially getting ready for 3 games in a row. Is your routine different?
Yeah, I can't mess around with the starters and have a rally beer and things like that anymore, so that stinks. But I love it. I love being around the guys. It's very, very different. Obviously, not really understanding the bullpen guys and what makes them go, and having conversations with them and seeing them do their preparation and their work. It's just we don't ever overlap. So now getting to see what they go through and what they do and how many times the phone rings and things like that, it's cool. It's cool to see both sides.
John Schneider has said many times that you do weird well. Like this, are you having fun with this? Is it? I mean, seemingly it would be a lot of pressure, but are you enjoying it as well?
Yeah, I mean, again, I just look back to 2022, and I just prayed many, many, many times to get back in this moment. Obviously, the World Series was the biggest goal, but at the end of the day, it was just like, give me one more chance. Like, whatever that means, give me one more chance. And sure as heck, we got it. So I'm just trying to have fun in the moment. I'm not trying to go crazy. I'm not trying to be World Series MVP, or that's Vladdy and George and all those guys' job to win. But overall, I'm just trying to be me. And whatever they need out of that, I'm willing to do.
One row ahead to Shy.
Hey, Chris. As you've watched Vladdy over the course of this month take his at-bats, just from a pitcher's perspective, the way you think of things from your vantage point, how have you seen him control at-bats, and how does that impact pitchers who are trying to attack him?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've talked about this yesterday, I believe. It all blends in together, I'm sorry. But there's so many games throughout the year. And the reality is Vladdy's going to probably play every single day unless he really needs a day off. So sometimes we have an understanding that Vladdy's going to go 75%, or Dalton Varsho in center field, who's ran 4 miles that game kind of thing, is going to go 75%. So we might give up a double, or Vladdy might not be able to go first to third, and then his at-bats might be, hey, I'm going for singles and doubles. But then all of a sudden, Vladdy's kind of able to turn it into 100%. I'm going full go, and this is kind of what we expect. He doesn't try to do too much, but when he's going full go, man, I don't know there's many players in the world that I'd rather have than him. So I would say it's just the time of year. You have everyone seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, of we have 3 games left. Obviously, playoff start, we don't know when we're going home or how we're going home or whatever it may be. So it's just, you get everyone's best effort. So, yeah, very happy to have Vladdy on our team.
I'll stay in that same row with Rob.
Hey, Chris.
Opposite question to Ben's about preparation. What about recovery in this role, and like how fresh is your arm after pitching 2 innings?
Yeah, I feel good. The good Lord blessed me with not getting too sore. I'm I'm hypermobile when it comes to everything, so it's not so much soreness, it's more so fatigue. But it's the World Series. I don't think fatigue is going to be much of an issue, so I feel good. What that means for our team, we'll see. But overall, the next 3 games, I'll be ready to throw.
The second row, your left, Chris, Ron.
In the recovery, are you doing anything differently with ice and the electric stimulation and the red light machines?
Luckily for us, we basically have every option, and I'm probably using every option, along with a lot of the other old guys on our team. So yeah, I mean, you name it, we're using it. So
different pitching every day than what you would?
No, it's just I have to use it every day. Like for the most part, like recovery-wise, like for me personally, it's cardio and recovery the day after I start, and then overall I feel pretty good. Now it turns into an everyday thing. So it's just more that I have to do, but at the end of the day, it's okay.
And you mentioned rally beard. What was the genesis of that?
Baseball. Everyone does that, I think.
This season, was it specific or?
No, that's been going on way before I was born, I'm sure. So yeah, it's just whenever the offense needs a run, we're gonna have one. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't now.
Across the aisle to your right, Mike.
Chris, when you say you regretted everything about that 2022 start with the Mets, what specifically, should you have done differently, or how could you have approached it differently?
Yeah, I just felt like I tried to do way too much. I mean, coming from Oakland, and yeah, I know I made postseason starts, and I've pitched in the postseason, but then you look back and it was like, no, it was COVID, and then it was just different. And then you threw me into New York, and I thought I was ready. Then looking back, I was like, dang, I wasn't ready for it. Like mentally, I didn't really know how to prepare for it. Physically, I did not like where I was at in that moment. So a lot of the times, I mean, anything in life, your biggest failures, or whatever you think your failure is probably your biggest teaching lesson, if you just look at it the right way. So, I mean, I know Max has made a ton of adjustments to his stuff. Gauzy, me and him talk all the time about what he's doing. Shane going through TJ, George going through his stuff. Like, you can go up and down our whole entire roster of just us talking to each other about how we need to approach the game and how we need to get our bodies ready and don't make these type of mistakes and things like that. So just being there, understanding it, and failing will teach you a lot. And like I said, you just have to listen.
We'll stay there with Dave.
Hey, Chris. Max said a few days ago that you were a big part of recruiting him to come here. So do you, because you're a little bit of an older player now, do you see yourself when you're part of an organization to be that kind of guy? I mean, at least if you're asked about it, or, do you feel like you have more to give like that off the field to just kind of help what a good team should look like, or the kind of players to bring in to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that type of person to ever go to like Ross Mark or anybody else and say, hey, we need to go get this guy. But they called me about Max, and then obviously I realized they were going after him, and then I went after him really hard. Yeah, I was calling him a lot, probably a little too much for his liking, but at the end of the day, I knew what Max brings to a team, and I think there's a lot of teams that don't like Max Scherzer's just because he questions everything. Like he wants to know every little detail, from outfield positioning to why you're throwing this pitch to who's playing here to how we control off days. And so many organizations, I feel like, don't like to answer questions. They like you to be a robot and say yes sir and go about your business. But that's not how Max is. So in knowing that, I thought this is kind of exactly what this organization needs. Like we need a veteran player that questions everything, because I think the more and more you talk through things from a player standpoint to a front office,
the better the team is, because then the team buys in. The team understands what's going on, or why these moves are being made, or things like that. So, yeah, I told Ross, this is going to be a headache for you having Max Scherzer. And then I told the pitching staff about him, and I told the coaching staff, like, this is a guy that's going to stir a lot of pots. But everyone was on board for it. I give full credit to Ross and Mark and all those in our entire front office, just saying this is what we need, this is what we want. So everyone looked at Max, the 41-year-old that might end up on the IL a couple times, and they don't understand the true value of having that veteran guy that knows what it takes to win, and then he might teach you a thing or two along the way too.
Do a couple last quick ones because Kevin is here. Rowan on your left.
Okay. Hey, Chris. Oh, over here. Bullpen units are generally pretty tight-knit groups. I'm curious what sort of the process, especially after a full year, I'm curious what the process has been like kind of meshing with that group and sort of how you're spending your time during games.
Yeah, I would say for the most part your answer would be, your question would be correct in the aspect of bullpens are tight-knit, but we just have something a little bit different here where I kind of walked into a bunch of friends that I've already had, so I already kind of constantly am messing around with them, talking crap to them, things like that, hanging out with them off the field. So it wasn't so much of me coming into a new team or kind of thing, so to speak. I knew all these guys, I knew what they do, understand who they are as people. So it was more so hey, I'm here to help y'all, whatever that means. Same with Lauer. Let's just go win. It don't really matter who does what. I don't care about your stats. Let's go win.
I'll finish quickly with Mike on your right.
With Max, whether you think you are knowing him or not, he gives you a lot of credit for being one of the reasons why he's here. You guys weren't teammates very long. How did you form that level of bond that you could influence him so much?
Yeah. Lou Trevino, I'm really good friends with Lou Trevino, and obviously played with him in Oakland. Lou and Max live really close to each other in the off season, so they know each other. And Lou called me after he signed him. He said, "Hey, I'm sorry, when I went to New York," and he was like, "Hey, you two are either gonna love each other or hate each other. There's not gonna be any in between. You guys are way too similar." So. Luckily for me, he's one of my best friends. I'll be best friends with him for a long time. So when I realized that they were going after one of my best friends, I was like, man, I need one more crack at this with you. We didn't get the job done in 22, but damn, if there's any guy, obviously Gauzy's now on that list, and Berrios and things like that, but if there's anybody that I want to win a World Series with, I want to win with Max.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Kevin, thanks so much for coming in. Who has the first question? We will start with Mike on your right.
Kim, we just heard Chris almost welling up when he talked about being best friends with Max Scherzer. I know he's in the bullpen now, Bassitt, but it feels like this whole rotation, this whole pitching staff, this whole team has this really unique closeness and bond. Obviously, if we're talking about best friends, that's a different thing. But over your 4 years here, how has that developed, and what have you seen change to get the team to the point where it is now as far as that clubhouse is working?
Yeah, honestly, I think the first word that comes to mind is respect. I think we all have a level of respect for each other and what each guy has been through to get to the point where we're at now. Obviously Max is, at a different level than everybody else, if you look at the accolades and whatnot. But honestly, just a lot of veteran pitchers. We've had some young guys kind of sprinkled in there the last couple of years, but really it's kind of been the old guys, and we kind of take pride in being able to to go out against some of these young guys and pitch better than them, you know. And so I think, you know, we just kind of relish the opportunity to go out and continue to kind of go against the grain of everybody thinking maybe, you know, these guys don't have it anymore or whatnot, you know. So really, since I've been here, you know, the starting rotation has been really close. We all watch each other work, we watch each other's bullpens, and I think that adds to that respect.
When we got here to LA, nobody knew where this series was going to wind up, whether it was going to go back. What does it mean to you to be able to get the ball pitching again in a World Series game in Toronto, potentially with a chance to wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Rogers Center is going to be fun. It's going to be electric. It's going to be everything that it has been for the last month and probably more, you know. So we're excited to get back there. Obviously, we're really good at home, so we feel confident playing in front of our own team. You know, the fans there have been awesome, especially lately. They bring the energy. They pick us up when we need it. And so, you know, yeah, obviously coming here was the goal to get back to Toronto.
A bit further back to your right, Rob.
Hey, Kevin, you've talked many times about when you were a free agent and considering the options and how much research you put into it and what made you decide upon Toronto. Now, it's taken a little while to get to this point, but what really attracted you to the team in terms of the direction you felt it was headed at the time?
I mean, I've said it before, but after the 21 season, I believe they had the best offense in baseball. So being a starting pitcher, that's, you know, you like that. And so looking at that, it was kind of, all right, that might be fun to pitch for them. You know, I've played in the AL East the majority of my career, so I know what Toronto's like on the visiting side. Unfortunately, I've been a part of, you know, 2016, Edwin ended our season, and I've seen that fan base, you know, at its highest level that I know of, and now even more so. So it's exciting to be a part of this, you know, the first World Series in 32 years. And it's more exciting that we're going back to Toronto and able to play in front of our home fans.
6 rows back on your left, Gabe.
Hey, Kevin. You've been around for the facility buildup this organization's had both north and south of the border. What do you think the impact will be on this playoff run, regardless of outcome, with regard to the organization further kind of planting its flag and becoming even more of a destination for players and otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, I think you really got to look at, you know, our head honchos for turning Rogers Center into, you know, what I always thought was a great place to play, but now as a fan, I mean, you come to watch a game there, I don't know how many different bars we have in there. There's live music everywhere you can go, great food options. I mean, it's kind of turned into a big party, so it's a lot of fun. But, you know, on the other side, I think when I first signed here, I saw the talent, and everybody talked about the talent. We've always had the talent since I've been here, so it's nice to kind of get to a point where that talent is kind of matured into being one of the last two teams, and so that's really exciting. I hope free agents can kind of open their eyes a little bit at the fact that, I mean, if you're watching this series and you watch the games in Toronto, I mean, why wouldn't you want to play there? You know, the fan base is incredible. They love their athletes. So if you're looking at our spring training complex, I think we have the best one in baseball, you know. So really our new clubhouse in Toronto is, you know, I don't know if there's many above it. So, you know, there's a lot to like, and now we're in that conversation of being one of the best two teams.
Second row to your left, Kev, Ron.
After being one of the few splitter pitchers for the first half of your career, why do you think so many people in the last few years are sort of following you and developing that pitch?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily say they're following me. There was a lot of guys way before me that had really good splits. But I think, honestly, I think there's so many good pitches in today's game. You know, there's so many good sweepers and sliders and cutters. I think the split is almost kind of just a little bit different of an animal. You know, you can recognize the spin and you can still have a pretty ugly swing on it if the metrics are right. So it's kind of one of the few pitches I thoroughly believe a hitter can know it's coming and still get out. You know, I've always felt like the changeup is the best pitch in the game because it looks like a fastball, and anything that looks like a fastball and isn't is really good. So I think that's why the split has kind of made a turn to you're seeing a lot more guys do it, and I'm happy to see a lot more starters do it because it was always kind of more of a reliever pitch, So to me, it's exciting to see guys like Yamamoto throw it a lot, and it's a hard pitch to control, and sometimes you don't need to, but it definitely helps if you can. It's definitely my kind of bread and butter, and the reason why I'm here, to be honest. So, I'm definitely pro split.
Do you think during the World Series how different your life and career would be if you hadn't been at Grand Canyon that day and run into Chris Brown?
What's that?
Do you think how different your pitching and your career would be if you hadn't been working out at Grand Canyon that day and run into Chris Brown?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's, everybody's career here is unique in their own right. I've had definitely my ups and downs over the course of my career, but I've always believed in myself and really believed in that pitch, and it's only got better the more I've thrown it.
Thanks.
Take a couple last ones, Mike.
And speaking of everyone's career being different, I wanted to ask you about Nathan Lucas. You were a first-round pick. You were in the big leagues at 22. He was a guy who really grinded and didn't get a lot of opportunities. And this is his first full season in the major leagues at 30. And there he was yesterday as the leadoff man in a World Series game, and maybe again in Game 7. And I see you're starting to smile. Like, what does that mean when someone like that who's been through that can get there?
Yeah, it's cool. It's a testament to him and his belief in himself. I know he thought about not playing anymore, and now, like you said, he's leading off in the World Series for a team and an organization that hasn't been here in a long time. So, pretty cool for him.
What does it mean that all these guys who, not much was expected from this year, whether it's him or whether it's Ernie or Barger, have sort of banded together to form this offense that has taken you guys this far? It's almost like an overlooked crew beyond the big guys.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you watch like the second half of last year, I feel like all those guys kind of made huge adjustments, and it kind of going into the off season, it was, we can maybe rely on this guy to really take a big jump, and some guys have more than others, but man, everybody has contributed this year, and it's been a different guy every game. So that's what's been most fun for me to watch is, yeah, we have the big name guys, but it's those other guys that are really kind of setting the table for those guys and coming up with big hits and playing out of position, and it's just been a lot of fun to be a part of.
One last one for Kev, if there is. All right, Kev, best of luck to you guys tonight. Thank you. That concludes today's pregame.